Episode 331. This is what we like to call the Thursday Night Freakout, 10 p.m. happening here on Spreaker.com live. And actually, every episode is live, so why not remove that from the speech? It is live right now on Spreaker.com. You can go on Spreaker or download the Spreaker app, look for UFO Buster Radio Network, and you will find me right now with a red flashing live icon saying, get on there now. The advantage to that is you're not going to hear it tomorrow or sometime during the week when you're on the shitter or something like that. You'll be able to log in and get on the chat box and conversate. As you've heard, as of late, we've had a few people that log on and chew the fat about the news articles, if you will. This is 331, and we've got 3 articles to talk about. And actually have an audio clip for one of them, thank goodness, because I know you guys get tired of listening to what I got to say. But it's a lot of regurgitation, I guess. Yeah, I guess we can put it that way, because it just seems like there is just one individual that is killing it when it comes to news, especially news about UFOs and things like that. He's like dominating everything. But I feel like on the horizon, right on the horizon, there's some roadblocks on the way. There's got to be. It just cannot. It makes no sense that things are happening the way they are. By the way, I am Manny. I am the host of UFO Buster Radio Network. And here we talk about space news, UFO news, alien news, abductions, anything that has to do with trying to figure out what the future is for this topic of extraterrestrial life. The discovery of it, the identification of it, and the fact that none of that coincides with folks that have been saying for decades that they're already here. Yeah. First thing I want to say is congratulations to Zach. I actually got your message off the last episode after it ended. So hope that worked out for you. Shout out to Tony. Tony, you know where you are out there in Europe, part of the European countries. And everyone else, a slew of individuals that are chiming into the podcast from all over the world. And just in the last 24 hours, because I don't get to do this very much, but there is I have a list, because, apparently I can't get more than the top 10. So the top 10 listenings, cities, and countries in the last 24 hours. The first is the United States, of course, because that's where we are sitting right now. Australia, number 2, United Kingdom, Canada, Sweden, France, Spain, New Zealand, Ireland, Switzerland. What happens when a UFO goes over Switzerland? Does everyone just ignore? I mean, well, fuck, everybody ignores it here too. But how do you stay Switzerland in Switzerland, if you know what I mean? Cities in Napa, California, New Orleans, Louisiana, Bakersfield, California, Houston, Texas, Dakabin, Australia. Yeah, I almost fucked that one up. Kent, Ohio, Bollnäs, Sweden, New York, it's a wonderful town, and Dallas, Oregon. Now that's a weird one, because I kept on thinking it was Dallas, Texas, but Dallas, Oregon. Check you out there in the West, where everything looks pretty nice out there. Hey, Zachariah, speak of the guy, he's on right now. He says, thanks. Yeah, I know that feeling when you get a new toy. It's exciting, wonderful, and yeah, you want to do everything you can to keep it in pristine condition until some rubber dicker dings it all up, trying to get their 15,000 kids into their Volkswagen Beetle. Been there, done that. Before we get into the news articles for today and have a little freak out, I just want to make sure you guys remember that at the top, the very top entry on the description for this podcast, it is the link to the Dark Horde podcast, which will be coming to you Saturday evening. The first episode coming your way. So get in there. It's on Spreaker right now. Like I said before, it might take about a month and a half to make it into the other places, distributions, syndication, just because you have to have more than just one episode. But get it in there. Check it out. Join me. And if you are someone that's involved in the paranormal in any way, whether you've had experiences or you work for some kind of investigation team, you go out there and you ghost hunt, contact me. I would like to have you on the Dark Horde podcast, or even some of your work, like some EVP recordings, some ghost box conversations, and whatever else you can provide. Because the truth is out there, even in that realm of the paranormal, somebody has got to know what's going on. Check this out.
1, 2, 3, 4. What about the world we both believed in? What about the word that made it so? What about your blood boiling crazy when you're just aching for her love like you could blow? You're like a broken record that turns and turns and turns again. You're like a broken record. That's what I am. That's what I am. What about the road less traveled? What about the chances we would take? What about the dreams we unraveled? What about the bright and shiny future we would make? But like a broken record, turns and turns and turns again. You're like a broken record. That's what I am.
This next story actually came out, I think it was a few months ago, maybe a little bit over a month ago. And honestly, what happened was that I actually predicted that this was going to happen during the big election year, that certain individuals were going to throw their hat into the ring, if you will, and they were going to start using UFOs as a way to, get people to side with them, like they can do a damn thing about it. That's the part that gets me. Historically, we know these rubberdickers in government can't do shit. Powerless, completely. The person that I have here, her name's killing me. It is Amy Klobuchar. Golly. Says in an interview that she will declassify UFO documents if elected president. Amy, the first thing you need to do is outlaw your last name. Get a new one like Smith. Be like Amy Smith. Klobuchar, who made that shit up? I want to know. And you should pretty much make sure that anyone that keeps that last name, it's a federal offense. And they should be put in jail and waterboarded. That's all I'm saying. Fortunately, if it hurts your parents, I can't help you there. Out of Mount Washington Valley, New Hampshire, our little Democratic Minnesota Senator Amy K, because we're not going through that route again. As a matter of fact, if you make it to be president, no one's going to say your fucking last name. They'll just say President K. I guarantee you. Apparently, she was telling people she was going to throw her name in, hopefully just the first one, into the 2020 race. And she had an interview. And she says what she would like to do is to declassify UFO documents if she is elected president. There is nothing wrong with a woman winning the presidency. I get it. It's cool. Fancy. But you can't come out guns blazing like that, like a fembot, thinking you're going to get anywhere. Forget about it. No. You ain't going to declassify shit. You don't even... she didn't even go that route. Really, I think she just put the old nails into her coffin as far as her presidential race. I don't even think anyone that seriously wants to win the presidency should even talk about UFOs at this point. They should say like zero, nada, zitch. Keep it to yourself. If you're on the shitter, you can think about it there. Shell. Nobody's going to go into that place after you're done for a good 2-3 hours. So that's the only place you probably can get away with it. And no harm, no foul, no foul, no harm. No one's going to know anything. Not a single person. She apparently confirmed that this is the promise she wanted to make to the peoples about unidentified flying objects, or UAPs, if you will, when she was interviewed by the Conway Daily Sun in Mount Washington Valley, New Hampshire. And there's a quote here. Here's the interesting part of that answer is that some of this stuff is really old. No, my dear. It's some of this shit is not old at all. You just fucked up, because the people who really follow this topic already know you're full of shit. You studied and learned about zero when it comes to that. So, yeah, strike one. So why can't you see if you can list some of that out for the people? So earnest journalists like who of you are trying to get to the bottom of the truth, they would be able to see it. The interview was actually more than a few months ago. It was back in October. And also the Sun, another publication, asked if the Minnesota senator, if she was familiar with the New Hampshire man, who is also named as Lieutenant Commander David Fravor. If she was familiar with his situation. I mean, if you're going to sit there and talk E.T. and UFOs, then I would assume that even though she said this was from many years ago, that she would know that Lieutenant Commander Fravor was the focal point of a UFO incident from 2004, which was disclosed in 2017, and he's probably her neighbor, and she knows nothing about it. Now, this thing doesn't even say that she even responded to that fact, to be honest. So chances are she had no fucking clue. And there you go. So, and this is what I say. Don't be running on shit you don't know about. Come on. Don't be ridiculous like this. Apparently also, Amy told the paper that she would look into it, and then she vowed again the following day that that's what she wanted to do. That was one of the platforms that she is running on as far as her 2020 Democratic bid for the presidency, and she is not playing. She is not playing around. There is another person who has been talking the UFO game, if you know what I mean. Someone by the name of Bernie Sanders. See what I mean? It's just going to keep going. I mean, I would say this. There's going to be at least one or two debates where this question is going to come up. It just has to be, because they think that they've hit the mother lode with this, and it is the most dumbest thing that I think anyone in government can do. Because eventually, when they get elected, they'll look like total dickheads because they can't do anything. They won't get answers. They'll just poo-poo it off on, on somebody's freaking late night talk show. Like, hey, I can't say nothing. Yeah, you kind of knew that before you went on, because the last 5 dickheads who actually applied for the position of president said the same thing. Jeez Louise, somebody stopped them. So Bernie Sanders, he appeared on Joe Rogan's show, and he said this last August. They talked about a whole bunch of things, which I'm surprised Bernie can remember any of those things, because I'm pretty sure by now he's hitting the age where he forgets a whole lot of shit. And one of the things that Joe Rogan brought up was the fact that there's aliens. Joe, of course, kept on prodding the elder man regarding the fact that would he or would he not spill the beans on ETs. Yeah. But not just that he would come back to Joe Rogan's show, can spill the beans live on his show, pre-recorded podcast or whatever. I don't know. Again, I don't see anyone winning the presidency and actually making a dent in any of that conversation in any way, except for saying that maybe there's microbial life somewhere. On some planet like Mars, it will get there eventually and we'll figure it out. Damn it. But you guys can just fuck off. It's basically what they're telling us. Go ahead and take the bait, because that's all you're going to get. 0. You might get probed, though, especially if you have that K named Klobuchar, as Amy does. Because I'm telling you, when she gets in office, she needs to sign that into law. You will get waterboarded if you ever use that last name again. Ever, ever, ever. I want to welcome Green Man and Ronnie Dawson into the chat box right now. Green Man says that the debate would be finally be half interesting. Yeah, you know what? It would, for that one fucking question. So maybe less than a half. And they really wouldn't they won't get into it. I mean, I would be surprised if anyone in a presidential debate even knew about Commander Fravor, because we see here that Amy had no fucking clue. She didn't really respond to it according to this article, but who knows? Maybe afterwards she got a little bit of knowledge in her, especially since they called out the fact that Commander Fravor lived in her own fucking state. It's a sad state of affairs, folks. Sad state of affairs. Actually, you know what? I just want to say, we haven't seen Ronnie in here for a while, so Ronnie must be out there making that money, getting that bacon. Check this out. I especially don't think that anyone would go for that whole alien disclosure nonsense, diving into the secret government files after that bullshit attempt to raid Area 51. Come on, they really fucked up everything for everyone. That's just the way it is. That's officially my clip, my little sound bite for whenever I want to talk about Mr. Musk, SpaceX, and Starlink. That's it. That tells you automatically that he is coming up. So get ready. Get your tinfoil hat, your SpaceX special Starlink antenna, because it's going down right now. The FCC approval of the SpaceX Starlink mega constellation may have been unlawful. Son of a bitch. Are you serious? I'm telling you, somebody get this paper over to Elon. I want to know what he says. I want to know what he's going to do about this. But, there's other things that just don't make sense about this mega constellation is going on. But this is another one. A paper suggests that the agency, meaning the FCC, not SpaceX and Elon, they broke U.S. environmental law in its approval of the satellites. And that if it were to be sued in court, it would likely lose its big girl panties. Yeah, I said that. It turns out the battle over the sky continues on. People are coming out of the woodwork, especially astronomers and scientists, saying, what the fuck are you guys doing? You ain't tell us about this. Yeah, people are pissed off, right? Now, mind you, it's not like there were news conferences about this. It's not like Elon wasn't going around telling people, hey, guess what I'm going to do? Hey. Yeah, apparently none of that fucking happened. They were too busy looking at the sky, billions of light years away, to where they can never reach, like fucking stuck-ass vegetables, trying to calculate shit that they will never, ever witness firsthand. And they missed the fact that there's going to be some pollution in your skies, buddy. Yeah, we're affecting your work. You could be a car salesman or something. You could sell the stars to people in that new Hyundai. According to the paper, basically, which was published in the Vanderbilt Journal of Entertainment and Technology Law, it argues that the FCC, also known as the Federal Communications Commission, who is responsible for licensing the operation of things like fucking constellations in the United States, they should have considered the impact of the satellites as far as what they would do to the night sky. I mean, it's basically fucking pollution, right? In one way or another, whatever the fuck it is. They're just throwing trash up there. Now, listen again. Spear chucking people with leaves. I think they would rather see the stars as they've seen them for eons than to have to be subjected to Starlink satellites. I'm not saying that I'm a prude. I don't like advancements in technology. But, God, that was really fucked up. Apparently, the agency ignored a key piece of federal environmental legislation, which could pretty much put its behind and every little rubber dicker Musk fan that works for the FCC in court, basically. Basically, it could cause some issues, and it may even go as far as losing the potential to approve any further launches of any constellations for any company trying to put up these satellites to hyperconnect us to broadband, because that's exactly what we need. Here's a quote here. And that is, it says, astronomers are having these issues, like not being able to see fucking stars, which is what they studied for, paid a shitload of money, have a bunch of student loans that they probably owe the federal government for. There's nothing they can do legally, says the paper. That's what they're thinking. They're thinking there's nothing they can do. The paper was written by Raymond Ryan. He is a second-year law student at Vanderbilt University. But he says there is a law. The law is called the National Environmental Policy Act, or NEPA for short. And it requires federal agencies to take a hard look. Take a hard look at their actions. So the FCC's lack of review for these commercial satellites may in fact violate NEPA in a really basic sense, in that what they did was unlawful. NEPA has been around since 1970, and it obligates all federal agencies in the United States to consider the environment of any projects they approve. So that's why the FCC is going to be on the hot seat. But there's no way that an article like this comes out and these astronomers are not going to lose their shit and start stomping on their pocket protectors and not run to the nearest federal courthouse to try to start some shit. It's going to happen. I don't see how it couldn't. One of the problems in this FCC situation is that NEPA does allow for what they call categorical exclusions, right? And usually these exclusions are there is because they can say that whatever the fuck these people are doing that we're going to approve it for, it's not going to have an environmental impact. Now, really, let's just put it out there. I don't think anyone knew that these satellites would look the way they look. And that's why a few months ago, SpaceX came forward and say, hey, we're just going to, paint them like a darker color and they won't be as bad. But some of the fancy astronomers out there apparently took some of that data and said, nah, they won't look as bad, but they're not going to look a whole lot fucking better. Not at all. Now, here's the reason why the FCC will be in hot trouble, because I just said that the exclusions are there for activities that will not have an environmental impact. The FCC, according to their filing, their approval for the Starlink satellites, said that the Starlinks have no significant effect on the quality of the human environment and are categorically excluded for environmental processing. But I think that there are worldwide witnesses that can say without a doubt that to date, the mere 200 plus Starlink satellites, I don't know, they fuck up a lot and break down. Because I think it was supposed to be like 220 something, and I think it's only down to like 180, 190. I mean, who fucking knows? Who cares? But here's what's going on. Basically, we have witnesses in countries all over the world that can say otherwise about there not being an environmental impact. So there is going to be some explaining to do. And here's the thing. Let's be honest. Not only are we just talking about the FCC and their, half-assed approval of the Starlink satellites, but what doesn't make any sense to me is, where in the flying fuck are the other countries? Why aren't other countries protesting basically what's about to happen? How is that going to happen? How is he going to get away with, let's say, Russians or China or Japan or any European country for that matter, or any South American country complaining that old Elon just took away their sky? I'll tell you, I don't think broadband is going to be worth that to a lot of people in the future. But that could be just me, I guess. Maybe I'm just out there in the middle of nowheres. The next story is a result, basically, of these Starlink satellites. You just can't write this. You can't ride it, not in any single way.
This film contains adult language. There are 17 swear words carefully placed throughout. Kids, can you find them?
Say what again? Say what again? I dare you. I double dare you, motherfucker. Say what one more goddamn time.
So this next episode is actually episode? This next news article really is a clip that I got from no one other than Billy from UBR Truth Seekers website on Facebook. And actually, I'm looking for it right now because apparently I forgot to actually attach it on here. Figures, right? Frick my life. What the flying fuck? I think this is it. Yeah, we'll get to it. So I'm going to play this first because, a lot of times I get tired to listening to me talk about the news. So why not have the individual that experienced it firsthand, and then we'll talk shit about them because that's what we do.
A mystery over the metro. An Albuquerque man says he spotted a string of lights slowly moving across the night sky. And he wasn't the only one. News 13's Rebecca Atkins shows you.
At his home along 4th Street near Alameda, Frank Gonzalez says last night he saw something unusual in the night sky.
Across the whole sky, from one end to the other. I guess I kind of lost sight of them right there, if it was cloudy or what.
He says it all happened when he came outside around 7 to feed his dog Gunzy.
And there was like lights going across the whole sky, and at first I see them coming from a bright light over there, and then I started counting them, and I counted like 30.
And his first thought?
Aliens. I thought it was UFOs, I really did. I never seen nothing like it. I thought it was UFOs.
And Gonzalez isn't the only one who spotted those lights. On Reddit, someone posted that they saw strange lights traveling across Albuquerque, about 30 or so. Gonzalez says he called family members to tell them what he saw.
I wanted to see if anybody else had seen what I seen, because I had seen something that I'd never seen before, and it scared me.
His daughter told him it was likely the SpaceX satellites that were launched from Florida last week to provide internet to every inch of the Earth.
We just launched 60 Starlink satellites back in November, and today we'll be launching another 60.
In May, when SpaceX launched the first 60 satellites, an astronomer captured them in orbit with his camera. Gonzalez says the images look exactly like what he saw.
Almost like Christmas lights. Somebody else explained it as car lights. And to me, it's still unidentified flying objects, because we don't know what they were.
Rebecca Atkins, KRQE, News 13.
There have also been reports of those lights spotted in Nebraska and Wyoming, and someone in Taos called our newsroom last night reporting the lights as well. We did reach out to SpaceX to see if they could confirm whether the lights seen in Albuquerque were their satellites, but we have not heard back.
So just, Frank, really? Frank, your daughter and probably the news people told you that shit was SpaceX and Starlink, and you're like, we still don't know what they are. Get the fuck up out of here. Yeah, this is what we have to deal with. I mean, this has been in the news for how long? And here's poor Frank in New Mexico, and he is completely clueless. And now I bet you when he went out there to see his dog Gundy was probably saw the Starlinks. He got into the some kind of lotus position, that they do in yoga, ready to receive a good alien type of probing. Gundy was on it. Oh, Gundy or Gunzy, whatever the fuck his name is. I bet you he was all about it. He was ready to receive alienish stuff. But there's an example of, we have situations where folks either don't watch the news, they're not up on it, maybe they don't have cable. But, again, that might help Frank, right? Because we all going to have broadband cable, even people that have dogs named Gunzy. Yeah. There is another witness for the lawsuit, the ensuing lawsuit, the one that's just around the corner. The one that tonight, there's a horde of astronomers getting together to sue SpaceX over and the FCC. That's what's coming. And it's people like this who are clueless, who are constantly talking about UFOs now and UFO sightings and things being out of this world, when really it's just Elon trying to give them internet. Yet again, where is everyone else on the planet? I mean, it can't just be astronomers that are pissed off about this. It's going to turn into something bigger. And I could honestly see the Starlink situation come to a halt, at least for a few months, maybe even a year. When these guys get their shit together, light up them damn torches and get them pitchforks shined up real good so they can turn it sideways and ram it up Elon's candy ass. It's coming this way. I can feel it. I feel it. I really do. But the other interesting thing about that is that even the newscasters, if you listen carefully, they barely know the worldwide impact of the Starlink sightings. It's like they were, for a good part of it, just clueless themselves of all the things that were happening, working their way up to Frank's situation. Ryan Dawson says, impeach Elon. I don't know. The question is, does Elon have what it takes to convince the entire world that we don't fucking need to look at stars? We got internet. That's basically what he's got to do. One more song before we check out. And I have some exciting news, actually. But it'll come after this song, so get ready for it. Listen, I'm not going to lie. I am ready to see a good probing for the guys in the chat box. A good probing of the FCC, Elon, and SpaceX. Not because I don't think that a lot of his plans would be good for the world. You know, I think Elon, he's a pretty smart guy. And, you know, Tesla, SpaceX, fantastic. Starlink, not so much. Not so much. I think Starlink was a trip in the wrong direction, maybe half-baked, right? Because he looks like he gets into the edibles a lot. A bit half-baked when it comes to Starlink. Maybe he'll be able to fix it. I just don't see it, though. Now when you're talking about 12,000 Starlink satellites, you can't fucking fix that. Come on. All right, let's be honest. You know, unless he like shrinks those things really small, like tiny, super powerful CubeSats, I don't know. I really don't know. A little announcement. I actually did get in contact with Mr. X, and we do have an interview set up. Hopefully it works out. But it is going to be really fucking interesting. And we'll see what happens. I think we'll get some good info from him, from his experiences, and basically how it's impacted his life from when they first started till now, because it's not just one, and it's going to be pretty cool. And there is one more thing I got to say. Don't forget the contest, tinfoil hat contest. It's going to end in the, middle of fucking February. Get it together, people. Get into this contest. It's going to be great. At least it'll be funny. And if you're afraid of backlash, put it on your dog. Put it on someone unsuspecting. Just throw it on them, take a picture, and run. Fuck, who cares? At least you have evidence. That is it for today. UFO Buster Radio Podcast will not be back until Sunday because we are getting ready. The first episode of the Dark Horde, it's got to be somewhat impressive, I guess. Fuck, somebody's got to listen to that shit too. But it is what it is. I thank you guys in the chat box for joining. Thank you for jumping on board. Good to see Ronnie back. And Zachariah, congratulations again. Sunday I'll be back. And we'll see what kind of crazy shit or probing we might come across. And by the way, somebody suggested in the chat box about having a drinking game. That might be the thing for every Thursday, but I know some of you guys might work late, but we might just have to make a drinking game out of the news articles as they come in. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Manny Room. Oh, yeah. Yep, I already saw it. The system is going bananas at the moment, and I lost my entire dashboard here. All right, here we go. We're back. Manny Moonraker checking out. Check you guys later. Sayonara. Peace. Goodbye.